always anything that I'm kind of navigating through. Now, y'all might think every time I go through something I post, I don't even care about haters. Like, yo, man, stop telling me what you got going on because they be hating on you. I don't give a fuck about no haters. I'm going to tell every hater all my good news, and I hope you continue to lose sleep about my life. You. But fast forward, I realized after doing like 5 interviews yesterday, I was just like, you know how sometimes you can feel something, you don't really know what you're feeling? I was like, what am I feeling right now? And then I realized that the last time I hugged and seen and laughed and bonded with Paul Walker. Listen. Last time I seen, hugged, laughed, socialized with Paul Walker was in Atlanta. This is where we shot Furious 7. This is where I gave Paul my last hug, and this is where I got my last hug from Paul Walker. So now I'm in Atlanta doing Fuel Fest with Cody Walker. And we went home. For all of the Paul Walker fans, you guys know that he died a couple of days after Thanksgiving. So here we are now back in Atlanta. And I'm back in Atlanta with someone with the last name Walker. And yes, he is Paul's twin. They look just alike, blue eyes, beard, kind of scary. Like, oh, man, look like Cody Walker looks just like Paul. And Cody has never been to Atlanta with me until now. So y'all busy, y'all got whatever y'all got going on. Ain't nobody finna be going out there at the last minute. Don't worry about it. Your loss. We are going to do a Paul Walker tribute in the city that I got my last hug in. And if you've ever loved or had love for the Fast and the Furious, for Brian O'Connor, Paul Walker, I'm just letting y'all know, and you don't have to care, but I think you do. This is the last city that Roman Pierce was able to hug Brian in Atlanta while we were filming Furious 7. And, okay, hold on.
You have to get over to
Is that water or is those trees?
Those are trees.
Oh, okay. I was about to say, we need to go buy some goddamn property around this water. What you mean, water? So you know, I just had to double check. I'm like, my eyes are not deceiving me, because normally when you see that, that's ocean or lakes or something.
Yes.
So guys, I hugged Paul Walker. My last hug to Paul before Thanksgiving. It feels like yesterday, but man, it's like 7, 8, 9 years ago since our brother transitioned. So we're coming up on Thanksgiving, and it doesn't matter how long ago someone that you love away, and you really love them, and you really are heartbroken and traumatized about losing somebody. It feels like it happened, 2 hours ago. But yeah, man, I'm doing all these interviews with Cody, and I'm like, man, that's crazy. The last time I seen Paul Walker was in Atlanta. So, if y'all know Ludacris, Zulu, can y'all please call him? I need Roman and Tej and Cody Walker on stage to do this Paul Walker tribute. And everybody who has ever loved the Fast and the Furious, whether you were married at the time or not, don't matter. Whether you had kids at the time or not, whether you're in junior high school, whether you wasn't even born when the first Fast and the Furious came out. Today is about to be a game changer. We're doing a tribute to Paul Walker I want y'all to understand something. And I'm going to say this proudly. Paul Walker had a passion for cars, and he was really his character, Brian, in real life. He knew everything about cars and engines, not me. I know I've been in this movie franchise for a very long time, but I don't really know anything about cars on that level. Kind of about it, but I don't. I can tell you about some rims, though. You put some 22s on them. It kind of stops after the rims. What color I want, kind of falls off the face of the earth. I hate to let y'all down, but Roman Pierce don't know nothing about no engines. That's kind of it. But Paul Walker, Cody Walker, I mean, these guys live this shit every single day. They are the real deal.
What's up, guys? Welcome to Web City News Desk. Hope you're having an amazing day wherever you're watching us from. Thank you so much for tuning in, and thank you so much for taking time to watch our content. We really appreciate your support. Now, from the video to just watch, that was Tyrese Gibson, and he just hopped live on his Instagram live, just driving in his car, and he brought up some sad memories, to the Fast and Furious fans, and this is after Tyrese went ahead and said that he just remembers the last hug that he had with Paul Walker, and this whole story was brought up after he said that he has been attending so much interviews, and in each interview, most people the question that they have been asking is how he has been coping after Paul Walker's death, because that the two were so close, and Tyrese Gibson became close with Paul Walker while working on the Fast and Furious movie together. Understandably, Gibson was devastated when Walker tragically died in a car crash back in November 2013, and the accident occurred while the actor were on a break from filming Fast and Furious 7, and over the course of working together, the two actors had formed a true friendship. And once Vin Diesel, departed the franchise after the first installation, Gibson was brought into play as Roman Pierce in Fast and Furious 2, who was replacement sidekick of sort of Walker's, brain corner. It did not take too long to build a repertoire, and I liked Tyrese right away because he was a real and seemed to be like a kid that was really excited to have the opportunity to potentially be in a movie, and that's what Walker told Tribute before the school's release. And in fact, the running scared star became a champion for his co-new host and said, I love Paul. He fought to bring me back to the franchise, and he just told MTV News during an interview back in 2011, and the friendship between the pair was perhaps cemented on set, but was originally forged when the cameras were not rolling. They built chemistry before filming the first two, and he said that we met, talked, ate dinner, and chopped it, got to know each other, and it was like a date. And many customers struggled to come in terms with Walker's death, but due to their past, Gibson took it especially hard. And from the video you could see him even at some point becoming so emotional, and you can say that 12 more than 12 years later after Paul's death, he's still so affected by this whole story. And immediately following Paul Walker's death in 2013, Tyrese Gibson was inconsolable, and the actor visited the crash site where Paul Walker died the day after the accident and proceeded to break down into tears as he was overcome with emotion. Gibson also poured his heart out online once he learned of his Fast and Furious co-star death, and back then he went ahead and said that my heart is hurting so bad, no one can make me believe this is real. That's according to a post that he wrote on Instagram just the next day after the news went public. And he uploaded to Instagram file the last exchange the two shared via text, as the four brothers actor wished Paul Walker a happy Thanksgiving Day. So just seeing him rekindle the memories of Paul Walker 12 years later, and him just still becoming emotional, you can tell that Indeed, the two were, good friends, and he shall never forget about Paul Walker death. So go ahead and tell us your opinion. You as a Paul Walker fan, you as a Fast and Furious fan, what message, what opinion do you have after Tyrese bringing up the whole memory of Paul Walker's experience that they had together, and his feature in the famous Fast and Furious movie? Tell us down below in the comment section, and don't forget to like and share this video.